whenever you're ready.
So who here has heard of Lance Armstrong? Okay, who here has heard about the Tour de France? All right, so this is not rhetorical. Who knows what the Tour de France is? Yes. Yes, so it's a bike race across France that lasts 21 days with 2 days of rest in between. So these guys are going for 21 days continuous, pretty much, and they don't have breaks. Well, Mark Cavendish, who goes by Cav, is the winningest sprinter of all time at the Tour de France. He's pushed his Grand Tour stage win total to 30, putting him second to only Eddie Merckx, who is 34, from Cycling Weekly, September 22nd, 2017. But Cavendish has been known to be in some pretty crazy crashes as well. Cycling has been something I've been passionate about for a long time, and Mark Cavendish is one of my favorite riders to follow today. As a cyclist, I've also enjoyed competing competitively, and when I see these racers going for so long, I can feel their pain and understand what they're going through. The information provided, along with some of the results that I will show you about Mark Cavendish, will show you that he is one of the greatest sprinters to ever live. Today I'll explain what he does, how he does it, and most importantly, who Mark Cavendish is. Some of the main points I'll be covering today will be the history of his career, how he's changed the sport of cycling, and the legacy he's left behind and the impact he's made on the sport. There's my specific purpose statement stating that my speech will inform the audience about Mark Cavendish's history, impact on the sport, and his career. In this video, I'll show you
left-hand sweeper followed by the right-hand sweeper into the Champs-Elysees, and that's when you've got to be in second or third position. Everybody's right
and I'll try to point out where he is during every race.
Mark Cavendish, Hosshoff's up there. I have to say, Pataki's in third
So
position.
these are some of the leaders right now with about 200 meters to go. You'll see them come on the far side in white. And there he goes. The sheer power and speed that he has to pull away from people like that is incredible.
Streets ahead of the Tour de France when it comes to a sprint finish. And Pataki comes over in second.
The next one's from Milan-San Remo. It's one of the greatest single-day races of all time. This race lasts over 6 hours, and during this race, he has to make up such a great deal of room that no one thought he was going to be able to do it. And as I show the second part here, you're going to see how close the distance he made up.
Attendez, j'ai l'impression que finalement Cavendish est passé, il est persuadé d'avoir gagné. Il est bon. Oh, la bombe qui revient. C'est incroyable. Et c'est sur la ligne. J'aimerais vraiment voir.
And this is how close some of these races are decided by. And this last one is from the Tour de France 2012, stage 18. This is one of the last stages of the race. And he's in this second group here. I'll try to point out where he comes from because it's quite a long ways down.
Cavendish is going to have to come a long way down. Nicholas Roach is opening up the sprint.
He's going to come from right here.
Here comes the missile. The white jersey fits his teeth. He chases Luis Liam. Sanchez, he locks in, but can he get by? Roach is so close to winning this. He sneaks across the road. Cavendish has just won his second stage of the Tour de France. He joins the great sprinter, Andre Dampierre.
So that's just some of his highlights. But as the sport goes, there's also plenty of crashes to go along with it. And last year, this past year during the 2017 race, he was involved in one of the crashes that put him out of the race. So he'll be along the wall here, and he gets elbowed, gets thrown into the wall, and eventually ran over. He broke his collarbone during this race, and it was only stage 4, and he was out of the Tour de France at this point. And during the replay in slow motion, you can see he gets elbowed, thrown into the wall, bike is destroyed, and unfortunately gets run over by the next cyclist right across the face. So Cavendish is career started on the Isles of Man, which is a small island off the coast of Great Britain. In 2005 is when he started his professional racing career. During the year, he only raced 2 full tours of about 5 to 7 races, but he raced a handful of other races. Starting out as a young cyclist, he raced road, track, mountain, and BMX. Cav grew up learning BMX, but quickly switched to track and road. And it's described as a large group of riders racing over various terrain during single or multi-day events. The bicycles used during road were extremely light, stiff, and responsive. Johnson, 2015. 2007 was his first go-around in the Tour de France. During this race, he crashed on day 1, day 2, and then dropped out on day 8. He didn't see it as a total loss. He used this as motivation for next year. 2008 was an Olympic year as well. So he was in fantastic shape going into the Tour, where on stage 5 he got his first Tour de France win. He won 3 more stages before dropping out on stage 14 to focus on the Tour. Even though cycling has been around for a long time, Cavendish has still had a huge impact on the sport. One of the biggest ways he's impacted it was that there's a lead-out train. This lead-out train has a line of people that pull off continually one after another so that at the end he's able to use as much energy as he can to win. During the 2009 season, his incredible win that I showed you of Milan-San Remo from Pro Cycling Stats 2017, but arguably his best year was 2009 when he contested 27 sprints. I won 25 of them, and I was second in the other 2. Rattler, 2017. During the year of racing, it was like no other. He was one of the winningest sprinters, and Cav proved that he was a powerful force in the cycling world. Cavendish has been one of the few to race on the track and the road, and also win world championships at both. Cavendish's career is near the end. His legacy is going to be left behind, and Cavendish has been aware of his age that he started to be held back. He stated, "This year I'll be happy to win a stage. It won't be a failure if I don't." That was this past year, fathering him in 2017. He realized he isn't the fastest or strongest anymore, but he knows he can still compete in every sprint he races in. Eddie Merckx has the most Tour de France wins at 34, and Cavendish at 30. I've never pursued Eddie Merckx's record, Cav says, but last year it became a realistic target, a number, and a goal to aim for. If I'm not only good enough to win one more, so be it. Fathering him in 2017. He knows his place in cycling behind Eddie Merckx and the importance of cycling. Cavendish's career may be over after this next year, but what it could be said about his career is that he's unmatched to date and will likely stand for the next 10 years. Today we've learned about Mark Cavendish's career, how he impacted the sport, and his legacy he's going to leave behind.
Awesome, great job.